All right. Good evening, all. Welcome to today's planning board meeting, Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. We're now called to order. Short agenda tonight, hopefully without issue. Been joined tonight by Shardy Canopy, Melissa Gilliard, Martin Hall, and Chris Ellis, chaired planning board. Our staff and council are here to help guide us through. Our first project is a conditional use permit for 452, 454, 456 North Pearl. The applicant Premier Transportation looking at the allowance for use of dispatch service, incidental partial demolition of about 5,680 square feet of the rear of 454 North Pearl to accommodate a drive lane with 17,600 square feet interior rehabilitation and minor exterior modifications and no new construction proposed. Is the candidate here?
Yes.
Applicant. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is John Romeo, professional engineer with McLaren Engineering. I'm the lead engineer.
Just grab a chair. Grab a chair right behind you. Just grab
Perfect.
There we go.
I have here the president of Premier Transportation, Mr. David Brown, and Logan Adams. So he's one of the other engineers.
Yes, it's
So,
okay.
Perfect. That's all right. I'm used to standing. I'm a little bit animated. You want us to step through the entire PowerPoint presentation, or would you like me to just kind of jump to?
What's our time limit on presentations? Is 10 minutes? 10 minutes? You can use your 10 minutes
Perfect.
any way you want, but you don't have to use all 10.
Perfect. So if we want to just jump to the site plan, I can just kind of explain just one more. Perfect, right here. So Premier Transportation is an established business within the city. It's actually celebrating its 35th year this year. We're here tonight just to talk about the conditional use permit that we are seeking for our property for the expansion of the business as discussed. As you mentioned, we have pretty minimal impact on the surrounding properties. So we're talking less than a quarter of an acre of disturbance, less than 6,000 square feet of demolition, no new net impervious that's being created as part of this. We're looking to rehab the building so that they can expand their building use into it. That expansion will basically include new office space, where the old Albany tile warehouse portion would be converted into office space. And the rear portion would be used for vehicular storage and some minor maintenance. The existing driveway between 452 and 454 would be closed, and we would open up a new driveway from the building so that way the vehicles could exit directly from the building. Throughout our process in our project, we have shown that we have adequate clearance to facilitate the movements throughout the site, and I actually believe that this is a net positive for the site from a fire protection and safety standpoint, because the rear of the buildings right now do not have access from fire department vehicles. So we've shown that we can actually accommodate fire department vehicles throughout the whole site as part of this. There is no new traffic anticipated. This is really just to take a lot of the vehicles that are outside, bring them inside. Better storage, from the rain in the winters that we have going on. Minor grading work that we're going to have as part of this. We did get some comments that says we need to provide a drainage easement. We have no problem addressing any of these comments that we have. The new building that is receiving the renovation will have a fire protection system installed, specifically to combat the interior use of the vehicles. And there's no major change or no change at all to the existing demand for the rest of the utilities. Front facade of the building will get a new garage door, going to try to match it in a similar style to some of the adjacent businesses, including the brewery right next door. Again, business operations are unchanged from the existing use that spans the other two buildings there. Had some other minor comments that we received. We take no exception. We believe we can accommodate all of those items there. Everything that we've received so far, we believe that this is a net positive. Again, established business. We have no impact to any of the surrounding other areas. We're taking a vacant building and rehabbing it. I think all those things are generally positive. I think that that's all I have directly for this presentation. Happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the board?
I have just one.
Yeah.
Now, where are the vehicles currently being stored?
Outside on,
Outside, on the-
456.
Okay.
Yes. 452 is vacant.
Okay.
Anyone else? Staff comments on this one?
Generally similar to what was already said, just a kind of background that, this is established use at 456 North Pearl Street, that it requires a conditional use permit, for the proposed new use at the new purchase building at 452 North Pearl Street. But it has a minor DPR, so that'll ultimately be reviewed and approved, by the chief planning official, by us. There are no use-specific standards for the dispatch service specifically. There are use-specific standards for the light vehicle servicing, which is kind of an accessory use. So we just wanted to include those, and they've been included. And we believe that they are being met, but we're happy to go over those if needed. The project was referred to the Albany County Planning Board. We're waiting for that referral back. The project was also sent for departmental review, and we received that first round of comments back, which has been provided to the applicant. And the project will be classified as a type 2 action under seeker. Just a few comments for the next round of revisions would be to request to provide all existing parking, including the existing buildings at 456 and 454 North Pearl Street, as appropriate. And then just a little bit more clarification on what the proposed overhead door or pedestrian entrance would look like. I think we got a little bit more information on kind of the initial technical review committee, but just if there's some clarification on whether you'd be able to see the light vehicle servicing through the overhead garage or the door, or if there would be any kind of setback, so pedestrian crossing would be a little bit easier, or if there could be any kind of alert system for the vehicles exiting the garage. And then also wanted clarification on like chain link fencing to close the existing alleyway. Just noting that the material and height would need to be adjusted for either the location. So
Sure.
Some kind of alternative to what is currently proposed. So essentially they would be closing the existing alleyway to create another curb cut. So closing one curb cut to create a new curb cut. And in doing so, are currently proposing a chain link fence. So we'd be requesting some kind of alternative proposal for that. So generally, like Kristen said, pretty manageable comments, but we are just waiting for the Albany County referral back, and then we'll have another round of revisions. So at this moment, we're just recommending the tabling of the CUP until we receive that response from the Albany County Planning Board and until all departmental comments have been satisfied. And there was no written public comment either.
Excellent.
Well, thank you. Tonight, there's no action by the board, but we're certainly now aware of the pending project and deliverables. So we look forward to seeing you at a future meeting.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Alright. Project number 203 for tonight is also a conditional use permit for 92 North Allen Street. It's conversion of an existing dwelling, single unit detached into a dwelling 2-unit detached.
Like Natalia explained.
Good evening.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening. My name is MD Aminul Rashid.
Thanks everyone for being here today, and thanks for letting us present our application for a conditional use permit to use the existing detached single unit property, 52 North Allen Street, as a two-family. I'm Fatima Amin. I'm presenting on behalf of my dad. I am a PhD candidate in chemistry, so I'm not professional in this infrastructure thing. Please pardon me with my mistakes. I have 2 slides. Yeah, so this is our property. It's situated in a residential R2 zone in Pine Hill neighborhood. We purchased this property in August, while the seller pulled out electrical plumbing permits and updated and remodeled the property, and they also showed us the R2 zone compliance permit. They did not disclose that an application of conditional use permit for the second unit was still due. Later through the ROP inspection, we found out the discrepancies. We are for the last 2 months in a very uncomfortable and mentally upset situation, finding out that we spent all our lifetime savings in this property just to be a victim of fraud. So we would be really grateful to have your kind attention to this matter we're presenting today. I also have 2 slides on the floor plans. This is the first unit floor plan. As you can see, we have bedrooms. We have 2 bedrooms in the first floor, living room, kitchen. We also have porch and deck. The shared spaces like porch, deck, backyard, and storage, they are all accessible from both the units, from first floor and second floor. I also have pictures for first floor and the second floor. And do you want to go to the picture, or do you want to go to the second floor plan? You can show the second floor unit. Okay. Yeah, so the second floor also has 2 bedrooms, living room, kitchen, everything same as the first floor as well. And I have picture for both the units. I also have picture for the shared spaces as well. So this is the current status of our property. As I mentioned before, the seller completed all the remodelings and updatings. The property currently has 2 detached units, both having bedrooms, kitchen, bathroom, closets. The first floor has a porch and deck. The water heater with better capacity for both units was just installed before our closing on the property. I have attached pictures of every room, kitchen, bathroom, and other spaces available in both units. Also, I would like to mention the property has partially finished basement. I've also attached the picture for that, and the storage as well in the basement that are accessible from both units. Other shared spaces and amenities like trash bins and backyard are accessible from both units too. To the best of our knowledge, both units have basic amenities and requirements fulfilled to be used as a whole. The permit will not require any infrastructural or layout changes inside or outside of the property that would affect the nearby houses or neighbors in any way. The required work at this point would most likely be getting an additional electric meter for the second unit, which we pulled a permit on. But we would like to move on to that work or complete that work if we are granted this conditional use permit. We would highly appreciate and request your consideration to grant this permit for the second unit. And we would be sincere to address any further concern from the committee to meet the requirements on our side as well in future. We did receive 1 written comment on that.
Let's see, okay, you said written, thank you.
Yep.
Andrew is not here? Just want to make sure. Any comments from the board?
I have a couple of questions. There's a driveway between your building and the green. Is that your driveway or is it shared?
No, it's not our driveway.
Oh, okay,
It's
so
not upstairs.
any resident would be parking on the street?
Yes, yes.
My next question to you is, is this a owner occupancy? Because I know you said you purchased a house. Will you be staying there and then renting out?
We are not currently staying there.
Okay.
And in future, we are not planning to stay there, yeah.
Oh, okay, so this
Yeah.
is fully
It is
rental.
gonna be rental property, yes.
Okay. Those are my questions.
I guess the only question I have is that it seems odd to have trash storage on the grass. Is that something that your neighborhood has spoken to about in terms of where you store your trash?
We can change the space, if you guys give me a recommendation, we can change the space. Basically, the street that you see on the side, that's not ours. So we don't plan to keep our trash bins over there. We do have a walkway, we can, put the trash bins next to that.
Any staff comments?
Yes, hello. Thank you for accommodating me via Zoom.
She's in Philadelphia. Go ahead, Jesse.
Thank you. I just wanted to reiterate, as the applicant has stated, we received a conditional use permit application in December of last year by a previous owner. Since that application was then withdrawn, the gentleman stated that he will leave it to the new owners to submit the application. He withdrew it in January. The property was sold to a buyer then as a single unit detached, who had then sold it to the applicant in May as a 2-unit. In addition to that, I'd like to note that the property is located in an R2 district where 2 units are permitted. But adding a unit to a previously single unit requires a conditional use permit. The project itself is classified as a type 2 action, therefore no additional seeker action is required. It was also not required to be referred to the Albany County Planning Board. And no additional improvements are proposed to the location, interior or exterior. Per the code, there are some standards for residential conversion. The lot size is required to be a minimum of 2,250 square feet. Here it is 5,599 square feet. It contains the requisite stories to accommodate the 2 dwelling units. The second floor dwelling unit is approximately 1,104 square feet, where the minimum requirement for the conversion would be 8,000 square feet. With that, I have no additional comments.
1,000 or 800?
The minimum required is 800 square feet.
She said
She said
8,000, that's why I
Oh, I'm
wanted
so sorry, 800 square feet.
Yeah,
800.
thank you.
So, the staff recommended action would be to approve the conditional use permit, CUP number 85.
So moved.
Motion from the floor for Vanessa to approve conditional use permit. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Vanessa and seconded by Martin to approve conditional use permit for 92 North Allen Street. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes.
Last up for tonight is a zoning map amendment for 31 Trinity Place. Trinity Alliance for the Capital Region as a maker, Affinity Design Group. Proposal is to amend the zoning map to change the zoning classification of 31 Trinity Place from residential townhouse to mixed-use neighborhood edge.
Good evening, how are you?
All right.
Good. At Anglo Affinity Design Group, I'm joined by Alex Casino, also with Affinity Design Group, David Gordon and Harris Overlander from Trinity Alliance and Capital District. So tonight we're basically setting the stage for an upcoming an upcoming renovation to the existing Trinity Institution headquarters and proposed addition based on some ARPA money that Harris and David were able to obtain for the city. We're also in the process of fundraising and grant funding for the remaining portion of the project. As we got into the kind of preliminary planning process of the property, we realized that 15 Trinity Place and 31 Trinity Place, which is the former site of the existing Trinity Church, which was unfortunately demolished in 2011, were not a contiguous parcel. So by containing basically making that 15 and 31 parcel contiguous, basically facilitates the next round of renovations that are going to happen on the site under a single ownership of Trinity Alliance. The sites are immediately adjacent, and we're in the process of, we actually have already made the application to the planning board for proposing for the site, and that will be, you guys will be seeing that in the November meeting. So we're, like I said, right now, all we're really requiring is a recommendation to the common council for a lot line lot line consolidation and an update to the zone in the district. Consolidation, yeah.
The amendments to the zoning.
Right. That was much more succinct than what I just said.
Are there any questions from the board?
Can you go back to that map? So is the white the mixed use, I can't see the difference between the two.
Yeah, so the light blue is the MUNE, which is the mixed use neighborhood edge.
Got it.
And the outlined lot is 31 Trinity, which is currently residential townhouse.
Okay.
And because, down the road, we're gonna want to consolidate both of those lots. We'll want the 31 Trinity to be MUNE.
Thank you.
Staff map of what it would look like if they were.
And right now it's being used for gardens, right?
Mhm.
Correct, it's community gardens. Plan is to relocate those to the roof of the new building.
Oh, wow.
So this is what it would look like if it were to be.
And your current building's in MUNE, right?
Correct, it's at 15 Trinity Place, the parcel immediately adjacent.
Any additional questions? From staff?
Most of it was discussed. I think we'll go into it more in depth in the future. It's just background that the site is currently vacant, was formerly site of the Trinity Church. And that 15 Trinity Place currently houses the Trinity Alliance facility. In 2021, the staff planning department approved the consolidation of 15 Trinity Place and 13 Trinity Place. So that would be, this used to be two lots essentially. This building was a separate lot and this is a separate lot. So this is kind of a future stage if you want to think of it that way. A portion of this block is already zoned MUNE, as you can see in that slide, and the remainder is zoned RT residential townhouse. The adjacent Madison Ave is zoned MUNC, zoned the mixed use district, and the western edge of South Pearl Street corridor is RT as well. You kind of see MUNC, MUNE, RT. So a couple of different, but like zones. Of the uses permitted in one of the two zone districts, 32 uses maintain the same level of allowances, 8 uses vary on the degree of allowance. For example, conditionally permitted in RT versus permitted in MUNE. It goes into a little more depth there, same as in the staff report. And obviously, changing the zoning district would also mean changing the dimensional standards, but they would be relatively similar in both districts for both the front side and rear setbacks. MUNE does actually have a lower maximum building height compared to the existing RT, from 3 stories to 3.5 stories. This is actually the exact rezoning request that was just brought by UREC, exactly RT to MUNE. So if you want to think of it that way, they're literally the exact same request from RT to MUNE. But we would recommend that the planning board provide a favorable recommendation of zoning map amendment number 18 to the common council, who is ultimately charged with it.
All right. Recommendations for a favorable recommendation to the common council. Is there a motion for a zoning map amendment to the common council? Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for favorable recommendation of zoning map amendment 0018 to the common council. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say no. Motion carried. All right. I would like, you're the.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
No problem. I move for the planning board to enter executive session for the purposes of discussing recently filed litigation. Is there a second?
Second.
Without objection, we go to executive session.